Hello, everybody. It's me, Zaria, and I'm here to talk about something that happened my senior year in my creative writing class. So, I think it's funny. It's a little bit funny, I guess, but we'll see. So, it was the first day of school, and I went to go get my schedule. And first day, it was senior year, and I went to go get my schedule, and I looked on my schedule and I see creative writing and I'm like, whoa. And one, I don't know. I didn't want to take the class because it was this teacher I had my sophomore year and she got on my nerves really bad and I did not want her again. And then another thing was like, um, it's creative writing. I'm not creative and I don't like writing, so that's not a good combination, and I just didn't want to do it. And the class meant writing all the time, and no. I'm already going to have to do writing in my other English class, my main English class, and no, I just didn't want to do it. So, excuse me, I went to my guidance counselor, Miss Duckworth, and I asked her, what are some other classes I could take because I do not want to take this. And she said art studio, dance, and psychology. Are you kidding me? Really? Art studio, come on now. I don't draw. I don't do that. And then dance, I know how to dance, but I didn't want to take dance because that required going on field trips on the weekends. Yeah, on the weekends. No, I'm not doing that. And then psychology? No, I'm not. No, no. That's just the automatic no. That don't. It doesn't even need an explanation. Like, no. So then I just told her. I just said, okay, never mind. I'll just keep the class and just suffer. Well, I didn't really tell her that, but I just told her I would keep the class, and I said to myself that I would suffer. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit. Um, the writing class, it wasn't bad at all. Like it was pretty decent. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of work because I was also doing volleyball at the time and we had to do for the narratives that we had to do like 10 pages, and yeah. And but anyway, it wasn't bad or anything, but it was actually okay. We did narratives, we did poems, like such as like sonnets, haikus, acrostic, like all that type of stuff and more. And the point of the class, like she, how do I say this? She had it as to where we write it, and she goes and grades it or whatever, and then have the class critique it. So like she gave us like these packets, and you had to, and she would tell you, like she would tell which group to critique what, like stuff like that. And but the thing was, it was anonymous, so like no one would know that you wrote it. So that was the good thing about it. So it was something that I wrote. I wrote a poem. I wrote a sonnet poem. And man, I'll explain, but it was this poem that I wrote that was like about rape. Because she said we could write about anything. And I was just like, okay. I don't know how it came to mind. I don't know. It just came up randomly. So I wrote about it, and we had like a few days to, you know, do what we had to do, and then turn it in the following week. So I turned it in the following week, and Miss Hempill, who is my creative writing teacher, gets a phone call from let me just say this, she got a phone call. And mostly when the phone rings, I get very paranoid because it's either my dean of students who just a butt. And like he probably calling because someone's in trouble or something very petty. Or it was my attendance lady, my annoying attendance lady. So she got the phone, and I'm like, everyone's looking like, oh Lord, who's in trouble? Like, what happened? So she's like, yes, okay, I'll send her down. And she says, Zaria, Miss Duckworth would like to see you. And I'm just like, what did I do now? What did I do now? That's what I'm saying in my head. So I'm going to her office. I'm walking really slow. Cause I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? I'm trying to think of all the stuff I did. And then I'm like, it's only been what, a month? Maybe not even a month. Like it was probably more than a month. But I'm just like, what did I do now? What did I do? So I get into her office and she's like, Zara, you can have a seat. And I'm just like, damn. Like, oh my gosh. So she says, so she's like, so you're here because Miss Hemphill was concerned, and so am I about the poem that I wrote. So I'm just like, okay. At first I was like, what poem? And then, well, in my head, I'm like, what poem she talking about? Then I'm like, oh, I know what she's talking about. That's the one that I recently turned in. And she was like, we're just concerned. Like, we want to see if everything's okay. You know, like nobody's like doing anything to you, you know, stuff like that. And I'm just like, yeah, everything's fine. Nothing's bad or anything. Like, everything's cool. And she starts laughing. I'm like, what's so funny? And she was like, I was just making sure because, you know, that, like, that's what we do. Like, we make sure everyone's cool. You know, everybody's okay. And I'm just like, yeah, everything's fine. Like, nothing is, like, going on. Like, they thought that I was the one that got raped. And I was like, no, I didn't get raped. I was just writing about it and stuff like that. And the thing is, in my head, I'm like, if I would have got raped, I would have told somebody. I would not have, like, wrote it in a poem. You know, I would have, like, actually told somebody. But, you know, they were looking out for me. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, I guess. So, she reads the poem. Not out loud. She just reads. She was like, Zara, this is very good. And I'm like, what's very good? And she was like, this poem is actually good. Yeah, there's like a few like grammar mistakes or whatever, but you can actually like, this is actually like really good. And I was just like, me? Are you serious? And she was like, yeah, it's really good. Like, just fix it up and everything is fine. Everything will be cool. And I was just like, okay. Thank you, Miss Duckworth. And she was just like, but Zaria, if anything happened, I would really want you to tell me. And I'm like, everything's fine, Miss Duckworth. Nothing happened. I just wrote about it because that's a serious matter. People really get raped out here. So, yeah. So that's basically what happened to me. And I just wanted to share that. Oh, and also, my teacher told my mom. So I was just like, wow, thanks. I mean, it was nothing for me to, I mean, I was a little ashamed because, like, that's my mom. Like, why are you telling my mom? And I was just like, oh gosh, okay. But she did say, my mom did say something about it, but she was saying it like, what is this? Like, she was like, not like serious, more like a joking matter, but like, everything was cool after that. But yeah, I don't know if you laughed, but yeah, it was pretty like funny, I guess, but I don't know. Thanks.